Say
sure
that.
you said that, and I got really awkward then.
That's what this podcast is all about.
That's what we're here for. We are here to make the best of the mess, Alex.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, Joshua.
Well, welcome back to
Oh
another
man.
episode.
Of Best
Welcome
of the
back
Mess.
of Best of the
Welcome
Mess.
back.
This is welcome back. We are back on it. Um, your weekend was a fun one, wasn't it?
It was pretty epic. It was pretty epic. It would have been nicer if you made the effort to show up, but I understand. You
I thought I was going to see you
yeah.
enough today, so I thought, nah, fuck it.
Yeah. Well, I've actually never, had a proper birthday party. I think the last one was, a surprise one when I turned 16.
Hmm.
So yeah, my birthday was actually on the 15th. But it miraculously got celebrated on the 21st. So technically still in the birthday week, so that's okay.
Hmm.
But I explicitly told my partner, Erin, do not plan anything. I don't want anything. Let's just keep it really low key. I've just moved back from overseas. We've had a lot of stuff going on. Let's just chill out, no pressure. Don't worry about it. And I thought she took that in. I thought she absorbed it. I thought yeah, I thought we agreed. And,
Hmm.
as the days past my birthday, I was like, she really stuck to that. I'm proud of her.
Hmm.
And then I rock up to a pub thinking I'm going to watch the tennis. And it turns out it's a comedy show just for me and all of my friends, which is so bizarre, so freaking epic. But I was ready for a chilled night. Like just flew in back from Canberra. I was absolutely haggard after the game, not well. Like not well to the point where we went and did the weekly shop and it took so long because I had to just keep stopping because I just needed to sit down in the middle of the aisle. I was like, I can't keep my legs are gone. I'm using the trolley to keep me up. I don't know if this is something that happens when you turn 25. Your legs give out. I don't know. But I was like, I'm not in a space to do this. So we come home, meant to have a super chill day. Like we bought some fresh bread, like all these yummy things to make like a really nice spread, olive oil, dukkha. We're having a great
Oh,
time.
delicious.
After you finish all of that, you like to have a nap, right? So
Hmm.
we had a nap and then, we were kind of loosely planning to catch up with our friends anyway. So like two of our friends that live really close by, we're going to catch up with them anyway to probably watch the tennis. So that plan had already been in place. It wasn't something abnormal that I woke up to and was like, shit, let's get ready. It was like, no, we set an alarm for this time and then
Hmm.
we'll get ready really loosely, but like very loosely. So I would have liked a heads up to maybe dress up nice for my birthday party. I didn't even put a bra on. I was loose. I looked okay. Thankfully, I had washed my hair the day before and I brushed it before leaving the house, but I was not ready to walk in and see Lydia Williams sitting there. I was like, what the hell are you doing here? And that started an avalanche of seeing heaps of teammates, past teammates, people I've met a couple times, but we're friends. Everybody I knew was in that room. I still wasn't privy to the like of what was going on. I had no clue. So I just know all these people have showed up to a pub. What's going on?
Hmm.
And then we go upstairs. Apparently, we have the whole upstairs area and there's a stage. So yeah, it was literally five comedians, an MC, and a comedy show for my birthday with all of our friends there.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. How many people are we talking? Like, give us a picture of the room. Like, is it like you and like 10 friends, 20 friends, or like 80 friends?
Oh, well, I don't think I have 80 friends. I
Yeah.
think it was probably like maybe like 50 people, I would say. And
Wow, that's
like,
wild.
yeah. And there was also a random guy named Andrew that
Uh-huh.
caught on to the fact that there was a comedy show. And he really wanted to buy a ticket. And I was like, don't worry, mate, you can just sit in. So Andrew got to have a free show as
Wow.
well.
As in, was he just like hanging around the pub?
I think he was with one of his mates actually. So yeah, it was him and another guy that I didn't actually meet, but he was like, "Oh, like we had like a Bucks party yesterday. We like, came down here just to have a few drinks, have a more quiet night, and heard that there was comedy. So, wanted to stick around." I was like, "You know what, Andrew? You can stick around. You and your mate can stick around."
Oh, this is brilliant. Was it so how long did it sort of go for, and like kind of what was the what was the vibe at the end of it? You know what I mean? Like was it like a quality comedy show? It's kind of like, yeah, I could have done a bit better. You know what I mean? Like give me the vibe.
No, it was perfect for what it was. So that the
Yeah.
MC is a comedian that Aaron and I have seen quite a few times before. So I think one of the first comedy shows we went together, and it's become like every year we end up going to the comedy festival. We like that's like our favorite thing to do every year. It's like it's Christmas for us. It's like comedy festival equals Christmas. So that's the time where we will literally spend all of our hard-earned money to watch people make us laugh, which
I
I
love
think's
it.
great.
I love it.
So one of the first ones that we went to, which wasn't part of the comedy festival, but got us excited in the lead up to it. This guy was emceeing and we thought that he was super funny. So ended up going to see his own show at the comedy festival. And he recognized us because, it was within a space of 2 weeks and
Hmm.
you recognize people in a small room, right? So we ended up speaking afterwards. We just said that like, we really liked him and stuff and um accidentally kept seeing him year after year when he would just randomly pop up at other gigs and we swear we're not stalking you. Like that would be weird, but he was just everywhere. So became friends. He even bought a Chidiac jersey for the World Cup and wore it on stage, which was sick.
Fantastic.
So, he's a really cool guy. He's on radio, he's on Triple J. So lovely dude. And yeah, he emceed the night. So first of all, freaking epic. And then we had four lesbians. They're people too, but I think that makes it more funny because we're in a we are people too. Um, but I think that was the whole point. Just get a lot of gay vibes going on
Yeah.
for the female football community that was in there.
I
So,
love it.
so a mix of education for those who aren't,
Uh-huh.
privy to lesbian jokes.
Uh-huh.
But it was hilarious. And then one guy who's on the project. So
Yeah.
he was a bit out of
Oh,
place, but
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
great. Like I think they were all on for 15 minutes each, just
Mhm.
constant laughing throughout the night. And then it just ended. And like Erin wrote, you guys will all be in bed by 9 p.m. Like, so everyone was so keen about that because it's a Sunday. I was keen about that. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
hell yeah, I want to go to sleep. So, all of the footballers I have training tomorrow, it was very friendly towards them. So they all dipped out pretty quickly afterwards. And then yeah, a few of the others like hung around, maybe went elsewhere afterwards. But yeah, I was in bed by 10. I was loving life. So I still ended
That
up
is
getting to watch the
fantastic.
tennis, but
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant. That is fantastic. When is the Melbourne Comedy Festival? When's that?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here. I feel like
I
it's
know.
maybe April, May, maybe.
Okay. Is it because I know we,
Yeah.
we have the Fringe here in Adelaide in like
Yes.
Feb, March, and I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to the three main comedy festivals.
You have to. It is so
I,
worth it. It's so
have you
good.
been?
Oh, well, no, not the other ones. I've only
Okay.
I've watched them though.
Yeah.
I think I've watched like many clips of comedians. Like just watching comedy has always been one of my favorite
Hmm.
things to do. And it turns out Erin loves that as well. So that probably makes sense why we're together
Oh,
and we have very dark
fantastic.
humor.
Yep. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Do you have
but so
favorite
like
what so go on,
like
go
favorite
on.
comedians
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or like I think Ruben K is
Hmm.
pretty amazing. Like very much up there. Um, well, obviously I have to say Luca Muller, Geraldine Hickey, who were both there
Hmm.
last night. Luca was the MC. Alex Ward was also there, which was epic. So
Hmm.
I got to see some of my favorite comedians like literally 2 feet in front of me. So I was
That
very
is
happy about that.
fantastic. Oh, that's so brilliant. That's so brilliant. I'll have to.
Yeah.
I should come over for the Melbourne one. I reckon I'm gonna make a trip because it's
Yes.
comedy. Like comedy sits right like here. It's my heart. I was gonna say
Well,
here,
no,
but it
I
doesn't
was
sit
gonna
here. It
say
sits here.
one of the first times I met Marina, it was like you, me, Erin, and Marina. We went to the comedy. Like we went and
Yeah.
saw. the most uncomfortable show. It was like 18 plus, like at this random place, and we were all like, "Oh my God, I don't think we're all close enough yet for this." Like you and I were the only ones that really
Yeah,
like knew
yeah,
each other well. But
yeah.
still, when we start talking about sexual stuff, we're like, "Oh, we should not be knowing this about
I know you
anyone."
as a
Like,
child. This is weird.
yeah, like so it
Yes,
was a
no,
bit
that
weird for all of us.
yeah, it was actually, and I think that's the beauty of comedy. Is that it's always a little bit uncomfortable to sit with it. You know what I mean? Like if it's not there,
Yeah,
then what's the fun of it?
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. No, I have to come and do the Melbourne one because I definitely want to go like overseas. It's what Montreal and Glasgow. Is it Glasgow as well? The other one?
I don't know if it's
Um,
Edinburgh, but
Edinburgh.
one
Sorry,
of the two.
Edinburgh. The
Yeah,
other one. Yeah, it's Edinburgh and Montreal would be just
so
incredible. I used to
cool.
watch it with my parents growing up. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, it's such a vibe. But I want to see some more at the Fringe this year. I want to try and get out and get to some
Yes.
more stuff. Like last year, we didn't do anything. Really. Like we saw a couple shows, but I just want to like I used to hang out. The late night shows when all the comedians would be like just drunk after their shows and I'd come and just do like a
Oh
15
yeah.
minute skit. That's my kind of shit.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, the first time I saw Geraldine Hickey was like after she'd won Best Show at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and it was
Sick.
at one of those late night ones. And she showed up. She was so drunk, could not like she was. It was hilarious, but like didn't do the bit I guess that she was meant to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she was just like, it was so good, and I was like, this chick's cooked. I love it, and like
It's
obviously,
brilliant.
yeah. So I don't know. I feel like privileged to now have kind of like I feel like I'm forcing the friendships. I'm like, please be my friend. I I want friends to be friends with comedians. That's like my dream. So
And it's the best way to go about things, isn't it? Just force them to do shows for you. Hey,
oh,
you're here.
100%.
It's my time. Make me laugh.
Yep.
Yeah. I had another question for you there because it was on that. Oh, so you said you had a whole bunch of like footballers there as well, right? Now,
Yep.
from my understanding, if you're purely professional footballer, right, and you got your full-time hours and your full-time training, whatever, as much as you can, is comedy one of the things you kind of invest time in? Because I mean, I would imagine you got a fair bit of time, just downtime, recovery, hotels, whatever. Is that something that footballers would generally do? Or is it more so like, this is specific, just a you thing because you're just a bit of a different cat? You know what I mean? Like, what's the consensus? You said there's a bunch of footballers there.
Yeah, well, it's actually interesting. A lot of people said that they've like not ever really been to comedy before. So
Wow.
that was like a first time for quite a few people there. So it must be, I thought it was like such a common thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess not. Maybe it is. I don't know. But yeah, definitely for me, I invest the time in comedy. I'm like, that's what we're doing. If it's like a date night, I'd rather that than like a serious candlelit dinner. I'm like, let's go somewhere and laugh. Like that's all I want. So
Yeah.
that's the
Where did
perfect
it
date night.
where did it start for you then?
Where did what start?
Your
Comedy
love
or
of comedy. No, yeah, your perfect date night. No, your love of
perfect date
comedy.
night?
We haven't never really
I
connected over this, you know that? Like we have
no,
never
this
like
is new.
this is new. Let's explore it.
New
Where did it start for you?
territory.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Um,
Brilliant.
I think like I don't know, when I was younger, I guess I was exposed to inappropriate comedy, I would say, like dark, dry humor at quite a young age. My uncle was a little bit of a loose cannon, so he kind of, showed me and my brother South Park, and I was kind of teaching all my friends in primary school all these new words. So I was that kid.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I think I was always, I picked up on sarcasm really quickly. So I have convinced multiple people that I'm an Egyptian princess.
I love it.
Like I've descended from Cleopatra. Like they
Uh-huh.
believe it. I've convinced people I've been on MasterChef. Like yeah, like I don't know where this has come from, but there's things that I can convince people of and just keep a really straight face and no one understands why. And I think it's
Hmm.
just from my childhood of like the amount of dry, dark comedy that I processed. And,
Hmm.
it's kind of like, no, this stuff's really funny. And yeah, I don't, it takes a fair bit to get me to laugh. So if
Hmm.
I'm laughing at something, I genuinely think it's good humor, and then I'll try and adapt that, I guess,
Yeah.
into my Vernacular. That's another good word, guys. I am,
Vernacular?
is that the right word in this
Do you mean
context?
vernacular?
Oh shit.
It was
I do
one
this
letter.
all
Look,
the
it's one
time.
letter. It was one letter.
Oh
It's okay.
no.
It's like we've
Er,
filmed a lot today. Okay, we filmed a
nah.
lot today. There's a lot of words
Oh
coming through.
no.
We'll give you the slip up. Okay.
Oh no, but I do this all the time. Erin's gonna give me shit about it. Like she's convinced I should write a book about all the stuff that I've learnt because she finds it hilarious that I don't know so many basic things.
I mean, vernacular's not a basic word. That's a quite a it's an intensive
Yeah,
kind of word.
it is, but the fact that it's in my brain and it's in my brain in the wrong way, I think is the point.
Yeah, yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
Like bringing it into your vernacular and being able
Mm.
to present that to people. It's I think comedy is such a powerful medium for storytelling.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like it's such a powerful medium for storytelling because if you can get people to laugh, it's repetition, it's creating connections. Um, and I ask about yours because my upbringing was my mum. My mum and her parents. Apparently her dad loved Billy Connolly, so my grandfather loved
Yep.
Billy Connolly, um, and would play like the tapes. I don't know if you know what tapes are, but you.
Yes, I know what tapes are.
Great, I'm only 35. All right. So we'd play tapes of Billy Connolly, and my mum would just listen to him over and over again. And so then me growing up, I'd hear that kind of stuff, and then would just want to know more, like where I'm more like this, where I'm more like this, because it
Yep.
gives you something different. It's so fantastic. So, um, yeah. So those are kind of like old school. Like my personal preference is like anything dark and dry, you know, fantastic and observational humor. Like I love
Yep.
observational humor. You know what I mean? Definitely my thing. Like I just can't get around like dirty humor or crude humor or
Yeah.
that it just really doesn't sit well with me because I'm like, it's just the lowest form of humor. I think
Yeah.
tell me a
100%. It's
story
like,
that gets some
mm,
shit going. Yeah, yeah,
yep. No,
yeah.
I agree with you on that one.
So fantastic. I want to hear about the comedians that you had. Not right now, obviously. But
Hmm.
I want to get some of their names as well, so I can
Yeah.
check some of it out and whatnot. Do you know if they have like shows? Are they on Spotify or do they have shows on not obviously on Netflix if they're Australian based, but are they around those sorts of things? Can we check them out?
Yeah, I don't know if any of these guys have been on Netflix. Those are the pretty
The big ones.
um yeah, I would say those are the really, really big ones. But these guys are big. Like they're all I think they've all appeared, on Channel 10 in some form. Like if it's
Sick.
just appearances or here and there. So like they're known, I guess, in the comedy community, I would say, which is
Sick.
cool. Like I feel like that's the best community. I'm like, there's a football community, that's cool, but man, how funny would the comedy community
Yeah.
be? Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you keep going, you're gonna be in there. You can make it, you can make it
oh,
in
I'm
there.
I'm just gonna be like just a little wag of all of them, like just at all of their shows over and over again, laughing at the same jokes. That's where I'll be when I finish my career.
No bra, just sit front row, like
Yeah,
like on the
front
weekend.
row, no bra, just loose, so
just
loose,
just enjoying the humor. I'm just here for the humor.
enjoying the humor.
Well, another because you have these creative exploits, right? You have these creative endeavors, shall we say, Um and another one of yours that we have never engaged in together, and it's gonna happen.
Ooh,
Do
okay.
you know what I'm gonna go with here?
No, you're throwing me lots of curveballs in this one.
That's what I'm
So,
doing. I'm here. I'm just pitching them out there.
okay.
Eurovision.
Oh, stop it.
I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue throwing those curveballs at you.
Oh no. I think we need a whole 45 minutes for Eurovision. It's going to turn
Okay.
into the tea rant.
I want to
Oh
hear about.
no.
I want to hear about this. I want to hear about Eurovision.
You want to hear about Eurovision?
I want to hear about Eurovision, and I'm not going to give you any other guidelines. You can just go.
Okay, first things first. One of my goals, which was the same level as making a World Cup, is making it onto the Eurovision stage in some capacity, whether it be a tree, a rock. Like I can't dance, so I need to be some sort of thing that won't move for the whole performance. I just want to make it on the Eurovision stage and be part of that history because Eurovision, I feel like they are all my people. Like that's where I belong.
Mm-hmm.
When all those performances are on, I like the Eurovision fans, they're a certain type of fan that
Mm-hmm.
I get along with every single one of them, hands down. Like if you watch Eurovision, we're getting along. We can talk about it. We can dissect it. Like every year, I make sure that I don't hear any of the performances. I don't know anyone that's going to come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like my phone is in a different room when it's
Mm-hmm.
on. It is like no one will disturb me for the 2 or 3 hours that it's on for. And I just sit there and I watch and I rate all of them and I make my own like little, I try to figure out who's going to win from it. I don't want the outside influences telling me who's the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I will pick who's my favorite. And if they don't win, I will be mad. But it's it brings me a different kind of joy, I would say.
I have witnessed. I have witnessed.
Oh man, I remember coming into the gym and just like doing a whole Eurovision performance for you guys one year. Like I
You
didn't
did.
even come in and train. I just sang and
Yep.
disturbed everybody else in the gym because it was one of the best years of Eurovision and like the amount of fantastic songs that came out of it. And I learnt the words to about I think nearly the whole album. It was just bliss. But I
Do you have a
don't.
favorite song then? And I just interrupted you. So you go. You don't what? I just
Oh,
interrupted you. That you
no,
don't.
no, no. You can't say if I can't pick a favorite song. I can probably pick a favorite of one of the recent years, like a favorite
Mm-hmm.
year would be up there. And I think it was 2019 would
Mm-hmm.
be. Let me let me just make sure because I don't want to
Yep.
get this wrong.
You just check in
Um,
the playlist.
I'm checking my playlist. Yes, 2019 is when I went next level.
Yep.
Um, man, great times in that playlist. But look, I don't know where the love for it came.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember it was always something that was on. We would support Poland. They were always very interesting. I remember one very vivid performance of women churning butter on stage, wearing very revealing
Interesting.
clothing
Sensual.
and very sensual. It was like my mother was mortified, and I was like, "Is that what I'm supposed to be when I'm older, Mama?" And she said, "No, look away." And I was like, "I can't look away, Mama." And it was like great, but the whole family gets around it. Like
Mm-hmm.
my brother and I, one year when I was back from, I don't know, somewhere overseas for Christmas, we decided to watch like every performance from, I think, 2000, every single performance and rate them all to make an ultimate playlist. So yeah,
That's some dedication.
like we all love it. It has, I will say, I will put it out there, it has declined in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
It has declined. And I think I can solve it if they let me in there. But
Where's the decline come from? What is that? Like you're talking to someone who is completely ignorant of Eurovision, right? And my only um exploration into the Eurovision world is through yourself, and you are a
right.
connoisseur of the
Mm.
vision. So please, can you provide me the guidance onto what it was to what it
Hmm.
is and how you can then fix it?
So let's start with the fact that ABBA came from Eurovision. So we're talking ABBA. Like
One of the
they did
greatest
all
bands of all
right.
time. One of the
They
greatest
did
bands of all time.
okay. Yeah. So this
Did
is not your average song contest. This is each country in Europe, they have their own mini trials within their country, and then that person gets to win and represent their country on the Eurovision stage. So it is an absolute privilege to get there. Now, what I loved about it is these people would represent their country so purely. Like they just went out there and they were like, you know what? This is who I am. This is who my country is. There was so much pride in that, even if it was absolutely the worst song that you've ever listened to. If you did the performance right, it could be something magical. And that's what I was drawn to. I was like, you guys are probably the freakiest people I've ever seen, but I love it because you're passionate about it. You're passionate about your country. This is the most wild competition. I have no idea how people vote, like random. So I got so drawn to it. And then because Australia is crazy, we got a spot in Eurovision. And that
Mm-hmm.
changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I see a way here now. This is how I get to Eurovision. So we had some small people go on, like Guy Sebastian and Jess Mauboy, like really small, not known.
Yeah. Nah.
But what Eurovision is for mainly, it's like these people that aren't that globally known, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite year was when we had Dami Im, who was on X Factor, and she
Uh-huh.
has the most unbelievable voice. Like she sung such a beautiful song, and we were like favorites to win, but they didn't give it to us because like Australia can't win Eurovision.
Is
Like
that
there's
because
no
we're not
way.
Euro? There's no Euro
Yes.
in
There,
Australia.
yep. Yep. Like,
Fair.
all the like the mean girl memes come out. Like, you
Yep.
don't even go here. Like, I get it, but at the same time, we have like every sort of race and ethnicity like prominent in Australia. I am proud Polish woman. I want to see my butter churning women up there. And I want to be able to have an Australian go over and experience it too. So so now Australia's in it, and you get,
Mm-hmm.
that's that even that extra little bit, that fire within me to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get there. So I think the love of it is people are just themselves in the weirdest ways. Like you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
ever go listen to this kind of music. You wouldn't be like, you know what, let's go explore this. Yeah, you get to see the whole world on the stage, or all of Europe. To be fair, it's not the whole world, but we'll get
Mm-hmm.
there. We'll get there. We'll unite the world one day. Um, but yeah, I absolutely love these performances. They become my favorite songs. I listen to these songs before games. If I'm sad, if I'm happy, that they're, yeah, like people don't let me DJ for this purpose. If it was pre-game and they let me DJ, it would just be Eurovision and no one has any clue what's going on. So this is why I don't DJ.
They don't let you sneak a Eurovision song into the playlist, the pre-game playlist.
No, they don't.
Really?
It's, yeah.
Even if it gets you going, I thought like, wouldn't they be like, all right, you know what? We want every player to just get that little bit of an extra spark. Alex, chuck in whatever you want.
No, I tried it in the US. Like we all mistakenly, one of the girls said, "Oh, everyone pick one song." Stupid. We were doing a gym session, and I had a teammate who was Finnish, and they were doing really well in Eurovision. Like they were top two favorite to win. Should have won. They got robbed. This was like last year, and both of us wanted to play that song, but no one else had any like clue. Like in the US, Eurovision isn't big,
Mm-hmm.
understandably, but also, get with it. Um, but we put the song on and everyone just froze in the gym. And it was just two of us like banging our heads, going absolutely wild. It was amazing. And we opened up some people's world to Eurovision, but it's still not at the level it should be. Like it's the same as a World Cup to me, and like you get it every year, which is like incredible. So
Which is massive. Like, I imagine World Cup to you is huge, right? So for
yeah,
those
yeah.
for those listening, it's not like World Cup for you is just like something to sniff at. you know,
Haha.
this is the
No,
pinnacle of
I
your
mean,
work.
it is the pinnacle of my work. So to have this other thing that like I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't do any of those things. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very unattainable. At least like with football, I can do that ish. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go try and make the World Cup. I can't dance or sing. So to be picked for Eurovision is going to be really hard. But if we campaign enough together, I'm sure that I could be like a pebble on the floor, like a really
Ooh,
beautiful pebble with
you could.
like, you know, or like a branch just like swaying. Because the thing is with Eurovision as well, like you have to do the exact same performance every time. So I can't go
Okay,
rogue. Like you have
okay,
to do
and
the
it's
same
also
thing.
like acting and music. So not just songs. You can be a prop.
Well, like there are props
You
in
could
it.
be a
There's like,
prop.
I could be a prop. There's backup dancers that are very highly talented,
Hmm.
but I have seen some instances where someone would literally just sit there. Like, I can do that. This is my way in. So I will
Could
be
do that.
anyone's prop. I don't even have to represent Australia. I will just be anyone's prop. So yeah,
You could be the butter getting churned.
I could be the butter getting churned. That would be an honor to be on
This
that
is
stage. All I care about.
this is brilliant. When does Eurovision normally roll in? What time of year?
Uh, in May,
In
yeah.
May.
So
Have you ever been able to go over to Eurovision at the time of?
no, I nearly did.
Hmm.
I really wanted, like, I really, 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 really wanted to go when it was in Portugal. And my mum wanted to go as well. Like, we're going to make it a family trip. It's gonna be epic. But we're saving it now. Like, it's in Sweden, which is cool. They're very good at Eurovision, clearly.
Hmm.
They've been there quite a few times. But I think now that I know my off season will probably fall in line with that, I won't go this year, but I will save up to go to whoever wins the next year.
So
So
it travels around.
so whoever wins gets to host the next Eurovision. That's
Okay. Okay,
why they
cool.
couldn't let Australia win, because I mean, it would have been a
Getcha.
disaster. Yeah,
I getcha. Okay, cool. That's actually pretty cool. That's actually
it's
pretty
epic.
cool. I do hope you get there. Like I really hope you get like I know you will get there. Like I shouldn't say I hope because I know you will get there. And I think that there combine that with like, you know, reaching the World Cup, reaching the
Yes.
World Cup, receipt get to
Yep.
the pinnacle of, you know, once you get to Eurovision,
Mm,
you can go. You don't have
I
to be
can
here
go.
anymore,
No,
you
it's
know?
true. Yeah. That's actually a very fair point. I've
Hey,
achieved
look,
greatness.
yeah, we're gonna talk about the facts here. We ain't here to mess around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think I want to hear what your interesting niche thing that you're into that maybe no one knows. Like, mine are quite public now. People know I'm obsessed with penguins. Like, quite a few know about the
Yep.
mascots, Eurovision, that it's been
Yep.
mentioned before. I want to know about your weird niche things.
No, weird niche things. I love, and people are starting to notice now, but not. I don't have the profile, and I don't really talk about it a lot. You know,
Hmm.
my weird niche things. I've got two of them at the moment. Right, one's been a long term weird niche thing, and
Ooh.
I love Pokemon. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Which is your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, there's a lot to choose from. Um,
Okay, so say you're Ash at the beginning and it's like Charmander, Bulbasaur,
yeah, little Squirtle.
the the Squirtle, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
I
what are you
always
picking?
used to choose. I always used to choose Charmander.
Charmander's the best. I love
Always.
Charmander.
Right. I
Yeah.
used to have Charmander, then it would evolve, then you would evolve it. You know, you get a
Hmm.
Charizard, and that was like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
But you know, in recent years, there's over 1,000 Pokemon now, and it's all
Yeah.
different like regions of Pokemon. And so there's all these new ones that are coming in. And so with the new ones that are coming in, I'm like, I have so many more options to choose from. And so it's hard to choose.
Ah,
Like those ones are the OG Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
around and they
They
hold
have been
down the
around.
fort. So yeah, I'd have to say of the choices you gave me, it would
Hmm.
be the Charmander. You
Hmm.
know, and it was really, really funny because I didn't tell you in the story I told you previously about going to the jumping castles in Oakbank, right?
Uh-huh.
At one point in the situation where my niece and nephew were bouncing on the bouncy castles and whatever, and I was having a chat to the lady. Her name was Nicole, by the way. Um,
Lovely.
a little Asian child came up to go onto the bouncy castle, and he would have been probably 4, maybe 3 or 4,
Hmm.
and he had this top on, and it was a Squirtle top,
Oh.
and he like in my head, I didn't want to, I couldn't say anything outwardly to him because it would have been weird, just 35-year-old white bloke talking to this little Asian kid.
Yeah.
But I was just like, bro, I'm jealous and I respect that.
Mad
Hey, I'm
respect.
I'm envious of your top, sir. Fantastic. You may go. Okay. It was awesome. It was so cool. And what I love is I love seeing like kids of that generation now, like younger generations, still getting into stuff. I'm
Hmm.
like, this shit came out when I was like growing up. Um,
Yeah.
and so I went through this phase when I was like a lot younger, and we're talking probably early teens when it was a thing. You'd wake up, and I respect you for knowing Ash, right? Ash Ketchum. Um,
Hey, I
you
watch
know,
Pokemon too. Don't you worry. I gave my cat a little Snorlax. Like we're in the Pokemon game. We're in the
I
Pokemon game.
that's why we connect. That's why we connect.
Yeah.
Growing up, and I'd get up and I'd watch Cheese TV and then have the Pokemon there for
Oh
half an
yeah.
hour, whatever. And then it kind of like, and then it kind of evolved. Like then they started promoting Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, that's a bit too much for me.
Uh,
It's a bit too
yeah.
much. And then I kind of died for a bit, and then all of a sudden, like what 2015, 2016, Pokemon Go came out, and
Oh, that was hectic.
mate, right, the love was rekindled, and I shit you not, pretty much most days I'm going. I'm out there and I'm catching, you know. So
Yeah, dude.
that's my little niche thing that no one really knows about.
Oh my God. I've got a real quick story to do with Pokemon Go. So
Let's
like my
do it.
brother and I, we really got into it as well. But it was also around the same time where those people were dressing up as clowns and like
Yep.
killing people in Adelaide.
Yeah.
This sound it's just I should not be laughing, but so like that was very real. Like, it was all the talk, like for everyone at school. It was just like, oh, Pokemon Go and these crazy killer clowns. And for some reason, like my brother, he was really into like he wanted to catch, I don't remember which Pokemon it was. I think it might have actually been Snorlax. He was like,
Hmm.
Snorlax has been spotted in Linear Park. So we like live on Linear Park. We're
Uh-huh.
like, fuck, we have to go. This is like 12 o'clock in the morning. And he like messages me, he's like, we have
Hey,
to
we're
go
talking.
now.
Hey, we're talking midnight.
Like, this is midnight. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so he messages me, he's like, we need to go now. And I was like, where are we going? He's like, just we're going. And I'm like, okay. So we're like walking
Oh
through a
no.
park, a not very well lit park. In the back of my mind, I'm like, are we gonna see a clown? Like, are we hunting clowns or are we hunting Pokemon? I don't know. But we didn't end up finding the Snorlax, but like it was very risky. And then we find out the next day that one of these clown people was spotted in Linear Park. And
Hmm.
yeah. So my life could have been very different. We didn't find the Snorlax, we didn't find the clown, but
Hmm.
still here today. So we saved ourselves somehow. But
There's
yeah,
look, there's a lot of risky behavior that came out around Pokemon Go times, and you know what? Like it's still there. It's still there. But I think these are some fantastic stories. We're going to continue diving into this in our next conversation, Alex. thank you for your
jeez.
thank you for your time today once again on our show.
Ugh.
Okay,
Best of the mess.
best of the mess. We'll be back very soon with our next episode. Thank you for listening once again.
Thank you all. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.